found ways to build the future over and over. But today, that spirit is being tested. We face an assault on our values unlike anything I've seen in my lifetime. The federal government, respectfully, it's unrecognizable, protecting the powerful at the expense of the vulnerable. Their credo seems to be about fear, fear of the future, fear of the stranger, fear of change. In Washington, the president believes that might makes right, that the courts are simply speed bumps, not stop signs, that democracy is a nuisance to be circumvented, secret police, businesses being raided, windows smashed, citizens detained, citizens shot, masked men snatching people in broad daylight, people disappearing, using American cities as training grounds for the United States military, purposeful chaos emanating from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, shifting a tax burden from the wealthy, from billionaires to small businesses, ranchers, farmers, and the middle class, lining the pockets of the rich, crony capitalism at unimaginable scale, state capitalism, self-dealing, profit-making, not policy-making, rolling back rights of marginalized communities, rewriting history, censoring historical facts. Their politics, some politics of some twisted nostalgia about restoring the dynamics of a bygone era. None of this is normal. And it's important to remember at moments like this, the greatest tragedy is not, as King said, the clamor of bad people, but it's the appalling silence of so many good people. Not normal. But in California, we're not silent. You're not silent. You're not hunkering down. We're not retreating. We're a beacon. The state is providing a different narrative, an operational model, a policy blueprint for others to follow. This state, this people, this experiment in democracy belongs not to the past, but it belongs to the future. Expanding civil rights for all, opening doors for more people to pursue their dreams, dreams that are not exclusive, not to any one race, not to any one religion or class, standing up for traditional virtues, compassion, courage, and a commitment to something larger than our own self-interest, and asserting that no one, particularly the President of the United States, stands above the law. We've gone to court. We've gone to court. We've gone to court to protect our people, pushing back against this executive overreach. 52 lawsuits have been filed, funded by you, by the way, in the special session that all of you led. And as a consequence, point of pride for our Attorney General, as a consequence, we preserved about $168 billion in illegally frozen federal resources that belong to our schools, that belong to our hospitals, that belong to our seniors, resources that belong to all the people of this great state. We have one request for emergency relief, and we have affirmed the Constitution of the United States as the supreme law of the land. I say this with respect, but mindful. But Mr. President, you can't cut off critical food assistance for millions of people. You can't send the military into American cities without justification. And you cannot cruelly and illegally cut off funding for medical research, homeland security, or disaster response. That is wrong. That is wrong. And you have all stood up. You have all stood up. Our Attorney General has stood up. Our Speaker has stood up. Our Pro Tem has stood up. All of you, on behalf of all people in our state. Proud of that. You should be proud of that. But I'm not naive, you know? If we're going to keep the faith for the California spirit, we got to do more than just resist what is wrong. We got to keep building what's right. We're not defined We all know this. We're not defined by what we're against. We're defined by what we're for: opportunity and dignity and responsibility, the future. Every year, the declinists, you know who you are. The pundits and critics suffering from California derangement syndrome. Look at this state to tear down, try to tack all our progress. But we know the truth. California's success is not by chance, it's by design. We've created the conditions where dreamers and doers and misfits and marvels with grit and ingenuity come to build the impossible. We became a destination for the world's first-round draft choices, the best and the brightest who come here from all over the world for riches and new beginnings. And I'm not just talking about the tech CEOs and the founders in Silicon Valley or the producers and writers in Hollywood. I'm talking about the mechanics in Modesto, the farm workers in Salinas, and the police officers in El Centro. That's what we do, first-round draft choices. No state, simply no state in America that contributes more, none, to the American greatness. No state builds more ladders to success or sees around more corners. The biggest manufacturing economy constructed here. The most productive agricultural economy grown here. 18%. 18% of the world's R&D invested right here in California. 1/2 of America's unicorn companies, those companies valued over $1 billion, 1/2 are in the great state of California. And get this, the happiest cities, right here in California, you know who you are. Fremont, San Jose, Irvine, San Francisco, and San Diego, consistently the most happiest places on earth. In your state, I think that matters.